So again, he said a 2003 paper by two nutritionists, Stephen Connon and Michael Crawford, argued that plum babies are the key to the evolution of the large human brain, and not only because of inner supply. So in the beginning, they thought it's because only of the inner supply, but after that they discover that there is another element in the evolution of the large human brain. So A, their work suggests that earlier hypotheses about fat reserves are incomplete. Yes, the earlier hypothesis is incomplete. Look here. In the beginning, he said because of the inner supply. Then after that, he started changing his idea. So maybe A. Their work further support Kuzawa's hypothesis about the effect of fat reserves on brain growth. No. He just have two hypotheses. He discovered or he hypothesized first that it's because of air supply, and after that he said that it's because of the evolution of the large human brain. So it's not B. Their work raises additional questions about the function of fatty acids found in babies. We didn't talk about that. It will not support. The work reconciled conflicting theories about the role of fat reserves in premature newborns. It didn't talk about any conflicting theories. Clear, Raf?
Yes, mister.
Clear, Yusuf?
Yeah.
Yusuf? Okay. Number 7, Raf, write the answer please on the chat box. Okay, both of you said that 7 is B. Let's find out. He said which finding, if true, again scientific, would suggest. Here would suggest, no support, no weaken, no illustrate. He want to suggest that some people have trouble recognizing hindsight bias as a problem. Okay, where this can't find. Yes, he said difficult, there's a problem, so we need to support or suggest this part. Suggest or support are the same. He said the reality of hindsight bias is sometimes difficult to convey to seasoned decision makers. Why? Because hindsight bias can be confused with simple learning from experience. The people that they have hindsight bias, they mix it with learning from experience. I want to support this. They don't expect people to make accurate prediction about the future. I'm talking about experience, so about the past, not the future. They don't understand the extent to which hindsight bias affect people's lives. We didn't talk about people's lives here. They have never experienced the consequences of hindsight bias firsthand. No, he said that they make a kind of confusion between hindsight bias and learning from experience. No, the last one. They believe that revising one's views based on experience is never wrong. Yes, because now they mix between, or they make a conflict between the hindsight bias and learn from experience. So because of that, they said that they based their view and they said that our experience is never wrong. So the answer is D. And here he brings experience, and here we talk about experience. Clear, Raf?
Yes, mister.
Clear, Yusuf?
Clear.
Number 8. Number 8. Rahaf, write the answer for number 8. Okay. Yusuf said number 8. B. Rav said A. Let's find out again which find if true scientific could support what? The scientists use the rocks as a sort of fingerprint. Okay, here. Use as sort of fingerprint. So we need to support this part. He said the geochemistry of those rocks could be used as a sort of fingerprint to help identify subduction zone lava. Take care. He said that used as a sword. Used as a sword. Okay. They illustrate the resemblance of the patterns of subduction zone to those of fingerprint. No, they don't look like each other. So how you said that they look? He said they used as a sword. So we can say the geochemistry used as a sword like fingerprint because fingerprint will identify human. Geochemistry will identify subduction. So it's no A. They highlight the similarity between bridges in fingerprint and the warping frock in subduction zone. Again, there is no similarity between them, as we said. Subduction zone to illustrate the geochemistry, I'm sorry, to illustrate subduction zone, and fingerprint to illustrate or identify human. They imply that the research conducted in northern Quebec is unlike research described. He said here that they are different. No, we need that used as. They emphasize how geochemistry might be used to identify unique property of subduction zone lava. Yes, because fingerprint used to identify human and geochemistry to identify subduction zone. Yusuf, clear? Yusuf, clear?
Yeah, clear.
Rahaf,
Clear.
a last question, number 9. Write the answer, Rahaf, please, for number 9. Okay. Yusuf said D, Rahaf said B. So let's find who is right, or both of you are wrong, or what. He said here which finding, if true, would imply that Rushmore internal study was prompted in part. Do you know prompted in part means what? Prompted in part means come in more than one section. Come in more than one section. Okay, let's find this part. So let's find uh, which part that has this. Ah, this one, not only but also. Here. He said Rushmore and Turner. Rushmore and Turner realized not only do both rocks carry the same geochemical signature, but in comparing the Mariana and Noviktik, they also discovered the rocks and the geochemistry of both sequences it changed in the exact same way. So not only, but also, take care of that. Not only do both rocks carry the same geochemical signature, but in comparing the Mariana and Noviktik, they also discovered the rocks and the geochemistry of both sequences changed in the exact same way. Let's find out. So geochemist Pierce is not mentioned at all. Assertion that the Noviktik greenstone belt is too old and warped to provide a reliable geochemical signature? No. Earlier research, yes, because he said not only but also. Not only but also. So not only is the earlier, but also is the new. Early research that has shown similarity, and he talked about similarity, I think. Yes, he said same geochemical signature, and also both sequences change in the exact same way. He talked about similarity. So early research that had shown similarity between the geochemical signature of lava of moderate subduction zone and the Noviktik greenstone belt. Yes, yes. A dispute with geologist Reagan, who claimed that the Mariana Trench is 5 times as deep of 6,500 meters. They didn't talk about that. Emerging scientific evidence that subduction zone are not the only places where geochemical signature can be found. He didn't say that. He said that they are similar only. So the answer is B. Raf is right. Clear, Yusuf?
Clear.
Okay. Now we're gonna go to the second subskill of evidence in domain 1. And the second is literary. Literary. Let's find the difference between scientific and literary. It has some kind of similarity. Support and weaken is going to be repeated again. Let me send the file first. I'll send the file. Last time we talked about, again, I'm going to repeat that we have a domain called information and idea. This domain one, the hardest. It has three skills: evidence, big idea or main idea, and inference. The hardest of them is evidence. Then we said in evidence it has three sub skills: scientific, literary, and quantitative. The hardest was scientific. Literary is easier. What about literary? How can I know that the question is literary? You're gonna know that the question is literary if you find the word quotation. Whenever you find it, you know now that when we come to answer any question related to DSAT, we go directly to the STEM question. Not to the text, not the choices, to the STEM question. To know what is the skill that is measured by that kind of question. Here he said quotation. Quotation. Whenever he said quotation, you know that it's literary. Okay, Dr. Tamer, may you tell me the quotation will ask what? You told us. And the scientific, if true, he will ask us to support, weaken, or illustrate. Support, weaken, or illustrate. The same thing will happen here. The same thing will happen here. He will ask you to support, weaken, or illustrate. But the easiest one is to illustrate. Support or weaken, it's a kind of level 2 and level 3. Okay, let's find here with quotation, literally, from Mr. Cornet Johnson, office seeker, most effectively illustrate. Thank you. Illustrate what? The claim. Do you remember in the scientific? When we find the support claim, we search for the verb claim. Weaken claim, we search for the verb claim. Illustrate the claim, we search for the verb claim. Okay, let's search for the verb claim here. Claim, 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 claim. Claim is not found. What we're gonna do right now, I'm gonna tell you. Whenever you don't find the verb claim, only claim, just look at the first sentence. In the first sentence, it's a kind of written of introduction to the text taken from where? Forget about it. Yes. Yes, he told us what is the name of the story and who wrote it and in which. Forget about it. So the claim is going to be the sentences after the introduction. Okay. Now what do you want? Do you remember in the school when the teacher start giving you literature? And he start or she start reading a part from the selection, then ask the students to paraphrase it, to say its meaning in their own words. Here is gonna be the opposite. What will happen? Here I'm gonna give you the paraphrase, and I want the quotation. Here I'm gonna give you the paraphrase, and I want the quotation. Okay, let's find. In the story, the narrator described Mr. Coronel Johnson's appearance. So here, in the part that I want, or in the quotation that I want, that the narrator described Colonel Johnson's appearance as conveying his exaggerated sense of his importance. Show that he is important. Showing that he is important. And in exaggerated manner. Okay, let's find. He carried himself always as if he were passing under his own triumphal arch. Wait. I think now he is describing the appearance of someone. He didn't say that it's Mr. Carnes or not, but he's describing the appearance of someone. And he said that it's a kind that he all the time passing under triumphal arch. Ah, here it shows that he exaggerated his importance. So it can be A. But we're gonna go to the B also to find it out. The great Prince Albert was scrupulously buttoned about his form. Okay, but here it talk about Prince Albert, not talking about Johnson or College Johnson. Okay, let's go to find out. And the shiny top hat replaced the filth of the afternoon. I know that he described the appearance of Prince Albert, but it's no exaggeration, not like that. And again, we need something for Mr. Colin Johnson, not for Great Prince Albert. Okay, so see, Mr. Colin Johnson always spoke in a large and important tone. Yes, he said important, but here he's talking about the tone, not the appearance. Tone, not the appearance, so it's not C. D. It was a beautiful day in balmy May. This is the setting. And the sun shone pleasantly on Mr. Carnes Johnson's very spruce Prince Albert suit of gray as he alighted from the train in Washington. Yeah, again, he described here the appearance of Mr. Johnson, but I think no exaggeration. The exaggeration is in A. Raf, clear?
It's
Yusuf, clear?
Clear.
Let's go to the first question. And I'm going to help you as usual. Here he said, which quotation, literally, from the Gospel of the Old Year most effectively illustrates which the claim. Can we find the word claim here? The verb claim? No. So let's find the first sentence. It's an introduction. So this is the claim. I want now something to illustrate this claim. The same meaning, but in a quotation. He said in the poem, the speaker described experience, an ongoing cycle of anticipation. You know, the anticipation is something positive, and this is a cycle. So there is a positive, followed by regretful reflection, followed by something negative. So it's like a cycle. Start with positive, then negative. Find the answer that show that and write it on the chat box, please. Okay. Yusuf said B. Rav said D. Let's find right now that which one is right. He said in the poem, the speaker described experiencing and going cycle of anticipation positive, followed by regretful reflection negative. So let's find. The snow has ceased its fluttering flight, this is positive. The wind sunk to whisper light, this is also positive. An ominous stillness filled the night, a pause and hush, nothing here show negative. And I want a cycle, positive then negative. And so the years go swiftly by, nothing. Each coming brings ambitions high, positive. And each departing leaves a sigh, scream, negative, linked to the past, yes? So here it's positive followed by a negative. And he said, and so the years go swiftly by. So it's a kind of cycle. So it's B. What does this brazen tongue declare? There's a question. I don't need the question. I need a kind of cycle, ongoing cycle. The falling of the midnight air brings to my heart a sense of care akin to fright. No. It tells of many a squandered day. Positive. Of slight gems and treasured clay. Positive. Of precious stores not laid away. Positive. Of field and reap. No, all of them wrong. Positive. So the answer is B. Yusuf got it right. Clear off?
Yes,
Oh, okay. Let's go to number 2. I'm not gonna help you now. You know what you're gonna do? Find the answer right on the chat box. Let's find. Okay, I have two different answers again. Uh, Yusuf said C, Rav said B. Okay, again he said, which quotation? Literally. From Electra most effectively illustrate the claim. Illustrate the claim. So search for the claim. We don't have the claim. So forget about the introduction. and start from here. So he said here, Electra, who is mourning for her dead father and her long absent brother, is aware, she knows, of the intensity of her grief, but belief is to be justified. She knows her sadness, but she can give us a justification. Okay, let's find. Although pure sunlight and though air, earth canopy, how often have you heard the strains of my lament? The wild blues dealt against this bleeding breast when dark night failed. He didn't mention anything about that she is aware of her grave and also the justification. No, I know. Yes, aware. I know my own passion. It escapes me not. It can't escape. But seeing that the causes, justification, are so dire, will never curb these fragile planes while life is in me. Yes, yes. She is aware and she give us justification. Send to me my brother, for I have no more the strength to bear up alone against the load of grief that weighs me down. He doesn't know that she knows. He doesn't give any kind of justification. But never will I cease from dirge and sore lament, while I look on the trembling rays of the bright stars, or on this light of day. No, even he doesn't give again a kind of awareness or justification. So Rahaf is right. Clear, Yusuf?
Clear.
Let's go to number three. Again, let's read the claim. I'm not gonna help you. Okay, let's find out. Okay, both of you say that it's B. Both of you said that it's B. Let's find out you're right or wrong. Should which quotation again, literally. From the amazing adventure of Kevlar and clay, most effective illustrate the claim. Where the word claim, the verb claim is not here. So if the first is introduction, yes. So it's from here. Helping Sammy in comics was especially important to Rosa because she was feeling an emptiness in her life. Let's look at A. The story would be based on an article that she had read in Readbook about the humorous difficulty of being married to a nuclear physics employed by the government at a top secret facility in the middle of the New Mexico desert. Nothing here to Rosa that she was feeling emptiness in her life. No. Tommy had started kindergarten, and Rosa was just beginning to understand the true horror of her destiny, the errant purposelessness, yeah, emptiness of her life whenever her son was not around. Yes, because he is in KG. One day when Sammy came home at lunch, so she's gonna help Sammy now, harried and frantic, with an armload of Bristol board, a bottle of Higgins ink, and bunch of three brushes, and begged Rosa to help him by doing what she could. Yes, so now we know that helping Sammy for her is important because she felt emptiness because of her son. Was start the school. So it can be B. Till now, it can be B. C. He asked her if she had ever given any thought to penciling, to layouts, to actually writing and drawing comic book stories. Nothing here mentioned about her emptiness. It was called Young Woman. Nothing. So the answer is B. Perfect, both of you. Let's go to number 4. Let's find the answer. Rahaf, C. Yusuf, D. Let's find. Again, which quotation? Literary. From the amazing advantage of flying claim most effective illustrate the claim. Okay. Do we have the word claim? No. So it is the introduction, yes. So let's come from here. Rosa is thrilled, excited to be writing and drawing her own comics. Okay, let's find. She was not writing. No, I want writing. I want that she is writing. So much as planning out her panels one by one at the typewriter. So let's look at B. She had stayed up all night with the pages. It was some dreadful gold star superhero strip, the human, grenade, or the phantom stallion, and had the job finished by the time Sammy left for work the next morning. No, it doesn't show that. Yeah, she said that she stayed up, but it doesn't mention that she is thrilled. It was work done in a kind of unreflective crisis mode. Whenever Sammy was in a jam or short-handed, but after a while she realized that she had begun to crave intensely the days when Sammy had something for her to do. Okay, it's a little bit show that she is thrilled, but he doesn't say that writing and drawing. Let's look at D. Women had been neglected until now as readers of comic books. It seemed to Sammy that they might enjoy one that had actually been written and drawn by one of their own. Rhoda had accepted Sammy's proposal at once to write and draw. With a flush of gratitude, she thrilled, whose power was undiminished even now. So the answer is D. Yusuf got it right. Rahaf, no. Clear, Rahaf?
Yes, miss.
Okay, your homework for the next time is gonna be number 5 till number 9. Okay, see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.